Hey guys, we're back again. In this video, we're going to be covering 6 books that changed our lives. Are you at the stage where you know you want to be the boss of your life and your work, but you haven't got a clue where to begin? Well, let me tell you now, you are in the right place, and here is where you begin. Hey guys, it's Kia and Keenan, the Money Bros, and we're about to take you on our journey to millions through our determinations, failures, and successes. If you're new here, make sure you tap the like button and subscribe and join us to never miss a video.
So today we're going to be covering 6 books that changed our lives and how you can use that information to change your own life for the better and to get you on that journey to financial freedom as well. We will be listing the books in order for you guys to read so that you guys have the best chance of retaining the information and just to give you a little bit of structure with everything we're about to give you. So, as we fight for our financial freedom and tackle the obstacles that we are presented with, we are taking you along for the ride through the highs and the lows and probably the downright stupid mistakes. But we saw fit to let others learn from our findings and hopefully spur them on to take a slice of control and get going on their own journeys to success, however they define it. As for our approach, as Peter Lynch says, the person that turns over the most rocks wins the game. So please support us at the start of our journey and spread the word of our mission by liking and subscribing with the notification bell, turned on, and never miss a video.
And first on our list is How to Own the World by Andrew Craig, which is also one of my favourite books, which I never thought I'd say. In this book, Craig defines being wealthy as the ability to live on the money you make from your money rather than the money you make from working. Well, that's a mouthful. If you're not making money from investing, then you're getting poorer every day. Few people become wealthy because they rarely spend their time researching finance and never really try their hand at investing. But this book is a great place to start. A one-stop shop for all your investing needs, just like the Money Bros. We have chosen this book first because we felt like it was the easiest to understand. Not that the books in this list are necessarily hard to understand, but they do use some terminology that if you haven't heard before can be quite overwhelming, like it was to me. That's why this book made the most sense for us in the number 1 spot. Craig does a brilliant job of relaying relevant information without sounding boring, outdated, which is great for a younger audience. But the book does help no matter your age, and it's never too late to start investing. We were compelled to take action by what we learned, and like Craig says, the information should appeal to your common sense.
This is also one of my favourite books. Craig did make a follow-on book called Live on Less and Invest the Rest, which is another great read. But we aren't going to talk about this one very much as it covers a lot of the same topics, just in a little bit more detail and more into retirement stuff. But it still has plenty interesting and valuable content to take on board, and we also wanted to keep this video under 20 minutes long and hopefully keep you guys here for a little bit longer.
Third on our list is The Little Book of Common Sense Investing by John C. Bogle, who you may have heard of as he founded the Vanguard Company in 1974. The company is now one of the most respected and successful in the investment world. John C. Bogle and Vanguard were the creators of the original index mutual fund tracker. This was dubbed the Vanguard Experience, and the index fund tracked the S&P 500 and took two years after the company's inception in 1976. Since then, the tracker has had an inflation-adjusted return of 7.75% per year since the very beginning in 1976. The book can be summed up in just a few words: buy an index fund that owns all the stocks in America and never sell it. I personally think this method is definitely one to add to your arsenal, but if you're willing to get a bit aggressive and want to be able to retire by the time you're not 65, trying to take the aggressive approach requires you to learn a little bit more. But this book also does a great job of explaining those complicated terms, so if you're just starting out like we were, then this is definitely one for you.
Number 4, The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham, who is also widely known as the father of value investing. After graduating from Columbia University at age 20, he started his career on Wall Street, eventually founding the Graham-Newman Partnership, and after employing his former student Warren Buffett, he took up teaching positions at UCLA Anderson School of Management at the University of California. His work in managerial economics and investing has led to a modern wave of value investing within mutual funds, hedge funds, diversified holding companies, and other investment vehicles. And throughout his career, Graham had many notable disciples who went on to receive substantial success in the world of investment, including Irvin Kahn and Warren Buffett, the latter going on to describe him as the second most influential person in his life after his own father. Another one of Graham's famous students was Sir John Templeton. The book mainly focuses on investment principles and investor attitudes. And although The Intelligent Investor was first published in 1949, the underlying principles of good investment do not change from decade to decade. After his widowed mother lost all of their money in the financial crash in 1907, his family fell into poverty. Yet Graham turned this around, studying at Columbia University. He went on to work at Wall Street, going from clerk to analyst to partner, before running his own investment partnership. Consequently, he amassed a wealth of knowledge concerning financial markets, and it spanned several decades, and he shared that knowledge in this book.
Fifth on our list is One Up on Wall Street by Peter Lynch, also one of my favourites. This book was first published in 1989. Lynch's journey started when he was in his early teens, where he started working as a golf caddy to support his family. This is also where he unknowingly met his future boss. While studying at Boston College, he used his savings to buy 100 shares of Flying Tiger Airlines for $8 per share. The stock would later rise to $80 per share, profits from which helped pay for his education. Lynch graduated from Boston College in 1966, where he was also hired as an intern with Fidelity Investments, partly because he had been caddying for the Fidelity's president, D. George Sullivan. In 1977, Lynch named head of Magellan Fund, which had 18 million assets. By the time Lynch had resigned as fund manager in 1990, the fund had grown to more than 14 billion in assets. At his time at Fidelity, he also found time to write One Up on Wall Street and a handful of others, which is one of the best-selling stock investment books in history, now more than 1 million copies sold. Lynch stresses that anyone is able to get better results than professional Wall Street investors. Lynch gives all the information one could possibly need to be successful in the stock market. He relays the information in great depth with real-world examples. This unlocks the amateur's edge. And by this, he means that we as consumers see investment opportunities in every day. And why don't we stop to think, I wonder, could we buy a stock in this wonderful establishment? If more people get to grips with this way of thinking, we would all be much better off. A little disclaimer that this book uses a lot of technical language. This is why we've recommended this book fourth in our list, and also so it can follow on from The Intelligent Investor, which explains some of those technical terms a little better.
Book number 6, Buy Then Build by Walker Dybel. This is also our last book in our list. Buy Then Build is a take on the route to success in business. It is written by and is intended for the reading of budding or established acquisition entrepreneurs. It's an individual that has decided to enter the realms of business by way of purchasing companies rather than starting them, cutting out all of the difficult bits about building infrastructure. Obviously, this is quite a different requisite skills needed to be successful compared to being a startup entrepreneur, where you can just sort of wing it until you get there. But this most definitely is an art that can be learned. And the way that Dybel articulates his own experiences is next to none. Think of this as a true hand-holding how-to book. I would personally say that it is comparable to the standards of our first book of choice, How to Run the World, in terms of quality and comprehensiveness. The book was originally published in October 2018 and has since gained a consistent 4.5 stars rating on Audible, which, as it happens, is our main source for all of our literature. Myself and Keir both have relatively busy lives, so it became obvious very quickly that the ability to listen on the go was far more advantageous than sitting down and opening up a paperback, if and when we got the chance. Also, please let us know in the comments if there are any books that you feel we've missed out, any hidden gems. We love getting new material to delve into and value each and every one of your opinions. We have placed this book in the list not only for the overlapping qualities between the value comparisons on stock investing and business acquisitions, but also because it pays to learn and create a broad spectrum of knowledge. It is key to decision making. Being informed and creating unorthodox links between the subjects that might give you an edge, maybe a specific business model you come across will be the inspiration of creating a successful process in your investing. Who knows? All I know is that it pays to be clued up in more than one thing. This has been placed 6th in the list because a considerable amount of the terminology will sound like absolute Spanglish to you, like it did for Keir halfway through the book. The former literature will ensure that you have at least a basic understanding of the key terms in buy and build that are often used quite casually. A true entrepreneur, just like you, never stops or stops wanting to learn. It's how we build and it's how we grow. And one of the most excellent ways, among others, is to get your head stuck into books, whether it's by reading the physical thing or by listening to the very same books. Incidentally, there is a link in the description to a free 30-day trial. Any affiliate commissions go straight back into improving the channel.
Which you can tell we definitely need. We're just starting out, the editing's a bit rough, the videos are a bit rough, but stay with us and hopefully this improves just like the rest of our lives and your lives. And thank heavens for Audible, because I probably would have never finished a book until the day I died, let's be real.
And I'm pretty much the same. The idea of reading a book before any of this literally made me want to do things that are unspeakable. I'm glad. I think we're glad we did.
Yeah, Audible's definitely the one. And that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching and sticking around to the end. You're a legend. And I hope to see you again in the next one. And make sure you get into those books. We'll see you soon.